Number 45. Again, we're looking for critical numbers, intervals of increasing, decreasing, relative mins and maxes, and using the graphing calculator to verify. So we'll start off with number 45. Both sine and cosine are continuous and differentiable everywhere, so there are no special features that we have to watch out for. And the derivative. The derivative of sine is cosine. The derivative of cosine is negative sine. So all we need to do is find out where this is going to be 0. That will be 0 whenever cosine of x is equal to sine of x on 0 to 2 pi again. Alright, I'll start with a circle. Now sine and cosine are equal on the pi over 4s. So when x is pi over 4, then it would be 3 pi over 4, 5 pi over 4, and 7 pi over 4. At those places, at pi over 4, sine of x, cosine of x are both equal to root 2 over 2. Now they could vary in sign. At 3 pi over 4, sine of x is still root 2 over 2, but cosine of x is negative root 2 over 2. So cosine is negative when x is negative. Sine is positive when y is positive. Then at 5 pi over 4, sine of x is now negative root 2 over 2. Cosine of x is positive root 2 over, it's also negative root 2 over 2 because x is negative and y is negative. Then at 7 pi over 4, x is positive but y is negative. So sine of x is negative root 2 over 2. Cosine of x is positive root 2 over 2. So where does sine equal cosine? They have to be equal both in value and in sign. So that will happen at x equals pi over 4 and x equals 5 pi over 4. So we have our critical numbers. We need to make our sign chart. Again, we only go from 0 to 2 pi, so pi over 4 and 5 pi over 4. Okay, and our derivative is cosine of x minus sine of x. So we want to know from 0 to pi over 4, cosine is starting at 1 and moving down to root 2 over 2. Sine is 0 and moving up to root 2 over 2. So that means that cosine is always greater than root 2 over 2 and sine is always smaller than root 2 over 2. So that is going to give us a positive value in there. In between pi over 4 and 5 pi over 4, we can use a convenient value of pi over 2. Pi over 2 cosine is 0 and sine is positive 1. So 0 minus 1 will be negative. 5 pi over 4 to 2 pi, we also have a convenient value of 3 pi over 2 that we can use. Cosine is 0 and sine is negative 1, so 0 minus negative 1 will be positive 1, and so we can tell that our function is decreasing from 0 to pi over 4 and from, that's increasing, and from 5 pi over 4 to 2 pi, decreasing from pi over 4 to 5 pi over 4. Let's see if we have relative mins and maxes. We're increasing, decreasing, increasing. So it appears that we will have a relative max at pi over 4 and a relative min at 5 pi over 4. And let's see what the y values would be with that. At pi over 4, we go back to our original function. At x equals pi over 4, sine of pi over 4 is root 2 over 2. Cosine of pi over 4 is root 2 over 2. So we would have 2 times root 2 over 2. That's just square root of 2. At 5 pi over 4, cosine is negative root 2 over 2. Sine is negative root 2 over 2. So we're going to have negative root 2 over 2 minus negative root 2 over 2. So that's positive. I think we're going to get 0 there. So you can take some time and work out those calculations carefully. But I think we're ready to use the calculator to see how we did. So we're going to put in the original function, that is sine of x plus cosine of x, and our window is still from 0 to 2 pi. I don't think we need to go up negative 5 to 5. I think negative 2 to positive 2 is more than sufficient. And let's take a look at what we have. Alright, so we'll take a picture. And we increase, decrease, and increase again. It appears to follow what we had there. So we just need to verify that our maximum is indeed at pi over 4 and square root of 2. And the minimum is at, so there's something that I didn't get right here. I said it was at 0, but let's see where we may have made a mistake. Cosine of 5 pi over 4 is negative root 2 over 2. So let's see what we have here. We're looking for f of 5 pi over 4. So that would be sine of 5 pi over 4 plus, I think that what I did there is instead of plugging back into the original function, I plugged into the derivative. So it should have been cosine 5 pi over 4, and that would have been negative root 2 over 2 minus root 2 over 2, and that should have given me negative 2 root 2 over 2, which is negative square root of 2. And so we do appear to be, that appears to be correct there. So I will fix that, and now we have the minimum at 5 pi over 4 and negative square root of 2. Alright, I don't think that there's a need to, you can check those exact values on the calculator to make sure, but I think we're in good shape there, and I'm going to stop this at this point.